Yes, sir. Very good morning. Very good morning. Okay. So this is the second session related to direct taxation. In first session already we discussed somewhat chapter names and some introduction. Okay, just we can recall it within 1 to 2 minutes. Then we can proceed with the first chapter. Shall we? Okay, you know already paper number as well as name, and in that paper we have in two parts. First part weightage also you know. Second part weightage also you know. Question paper pattern also we discussed. And for our examination, what is that exam? June 27 and December 27 examination. What is that act applicable? Updated New Income Tax Act 2025. What is the Finance Act related to our examinations? Finance Act 2026. Okay. Coming to chapter names, but in flow, I think in the rush, we did one mistake. Okay. What is that mistake? Chapter 6A deductions. Earlier, whatever the deductions covered in 80C to 80U, already you know in intermediate level, chapter 6A deduction. But now the deductions are not in chapter 6A under new ACMA, that is covered in 8 chapter. Just that change we have to make. Okay, if you consider it as an 6A also, okay, but under old act. But in new act, whatever the deductions are there in old act, that is classified into which chapter? Chapter 8. Okay, shall we replace that? For me, you have to do this. What is the chapter name? Chapter 8 deductions. Okay, somewhat whatever you learn already in intermediate level, now everything. Remember one more thing, section numbers, chapter numbers only change, content is same. Some amendments will be there, that amendments every year we have to learn, but new act and old act, the only difference, arrangement of section and section numbers, chapter and schedules changed. Okay, understood up to now? Shall we start? Now we can start with the first chapter. What is the chapter name we have to start? Basic concept. Give the heading in a fresh page. Basic concept. So you know this one. So now we can start with the basic concept chapter. The first in this chapter, the first point I want to tell you, who having the right to collect the taxes in India? Who have a right to collect the taxes, either direct taxes also, indirect taxes also, who have a right to collect the taxes from the public? Commonly answer is what? Government. Okay. Now first point I want to tell you, purpose behind the collection of taxes. What is that? The purpose behind collection of taxes. Yes, you can write along with me. Purpose behind collection of taxes. Any idea? Okay, some of the students already told the answer. Okay, from public. Okay, from public. Who will collect the tax? Government will collect the tax. Okay, that may be directly, indirectly. If they are collected directly from any person, that is direct tax. Through any other person, if they are collected the tax, that is called as what? Indirect tax. So that means from public who are collecting the taxes, government. So whatever the taxes collected by the government, that shall be utilized only for the purpose of what? Public only again. So that amount also utilized for public only. Collected from public and utilized also for the public purpose. So now I want to know the what are the purposes, that means for what purposes government using the collected money from the public. So commonly we can say two objectives are there. For two purposes mainly they can use. The one is social purposes. Second one is what? Economical purposes. So I will tell you social and economical purpose. I don't want to tell you, yes, much things. Social objectives purpose they can utilize, as well as economical objectives purposes also they can utilize. Okay. Examples, please tell me if it is a social example. Nowadays, our government doing the freebies to the public, right? Okay, that means bus facility to great fellows. Next one, the free bus facility, and for subsidy we are offering the rice also, some freebies also. These are all the things are called as what social objectives. Economical means the development purposes, the roads construction, dam construction, lift irrigation projects are etc. and defense etc. is called as what economical. So if any country utilizes the taxes money for the economical objectives, automatically that country will be what from developing to it will be converted as what developed. If it is used for social objectives, still we are in which stage? Developing stage. Okay. So some objectives we can write. Yes, ma. Subsidies. Yes, ma. Free transportation. Free transportation. Yes, sir. Etc. You can write. But here, infrastructural infra development as well as what defense, dams construction, etc. So definitely here you have to add etc. because the many other objectives also will be there. The first point we discussed about the what are the objectives behind the collection of taxes means you have to tell these two objectives. One is on social, second one is what economical objectives. Now, my next question, who given the power to government for collecting the taxes in India? Sir, can I collect the tax from you? No, I don't have any right to collect the tax from you. Just I can collect the fees for whatever the services we are providing to you. That right only I have. I can't collect the tax from you. But now my question is, who given the power to collect the taxes to the government in India? If you observe, central government are going to collect the taxes. So nothing but central government is going to collect the tax as well as state government also collecting the taxes. For that government, who given the power to collect the taxes? Huh? Constitution of India. What do you mean by the Constitution of India? పెద్ద పెద్ద మాటలు మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. Okay. So remember, okay, before talking about all the laws, whatever is there in our economy, before that, the first and the foremost documentation, all of us required to follow the what? Constitution of India. Okay, whatever she said, that is correct only. Constitution of India is given the power to collect the taxes by the whom? Government. So next point, that is second point. In point wise, we can discuss everything. Yes. Second point, please write it down. Oh, power to levy the what? Taxes. Power to levy taxes. So now you know who having the power to levy the taxes, government. But who given that power to government, now we are going to discuss. Tell me, ma. What is that point we have to discuss? Constitution of India. Okay, super. Constitution of what ma? India. Sir, in every act, okay, in intermediate level, foundation level, you know many acts also. Sale of Goods Act, Partnership, Income Tax Act 1960, any act also you know already. Remember, in those acts, we have in sections, subsections, clauses, etc. But if you are observing the Constitution of India, in that Constitution of India, everything is mentioned in the form of what are articles. Okay. In order to explain this point, we have to take the two articles reference from the Constitution of India. No need to learn all article numbers in Constitution. Just we have to learn two article numbers. Any idea about that article numbers, sir? Article 265 first. Then we have to learn another one. Article 246 or 48? 246. First, we can concentrate on the article number 265. Can you tell me any idea about what article number 265 says? Sir? Any idea? So, just for MCQ purposes only, we have to remember these two article numbers. Sir. Based on these two article numbers support only, now our governments are collecting the taxes from the public. So, now, any idea? Remember, no taxes shall be collected or levied unless an authority of what law. If you haven't support from any law, then you can collect the taxes. For example, nowadays we are paying the GST, customs duty, income tax, etc. For collecting these type of taxes, definitely you need to get in support from the one proper law. Okay, you know already we have Income Tax Act 2025. With the support of that law only, now we are collecting the taxes. 265 is clearly saying that, tell me ma. Yes ma, no tax shall be levied, okay, or shall be collected. No tax shall be levied or collected except by, in negative words we are discussing the except by authority of what ma? Law. Authority of what law. If you have support from the law, then you can collect the tax. If you don't have any support from any law, then you don't have any right to collect the taxes in India. Simply 265 is saying that if any tax is levied, definitely we need to get a support from the law. Okay, before collecting the taxes in India, please make a proper law for that. So why law is required? Right? If there is no law, then how much tax we have to collect also we don't know. On what basis we have to collect the tax also we don't know, right? Okay, in income tax, you know, based on basic exemption limits, we can collect the tax. Above basic exemption limit, based on slabs, we are going to pay the tax. How we know these are all the things? Because of one proper law already in existence. That's why if law is there, definitely we can get clarity to pay the taxes, how much we are required to pay, at what dates we have to pay. If that is delayed, what are the consequences? These are all the things we can know if you have a proper law. Clear? Next. So then my next doubt is, so definitely sir, we can frame the laws, but who have an power to frame the laws in India? Okay, definitely we can frame law, but now who can frame these laws? Parliament. Okay, if you observe, at a state level, state legislature will be there. That means assembly. And a central level, parliament will be there. At state level laws, okay, assembly will frame the laws. But at a central level, parliament can make the laws. That means simply state level means state government will frame the laws. At central level means what? Central government will frame the laws. I think few years back in Telangana, Disha Act framed because of one incident on the Yes, sir. Based on one recent incident, they framed the one act or one law, that is what Disha Act. Can you tell me it is framed by the whole India? No, only one state. That means this is a bill approved in the state legislature of Telangana. So that's why it is also formed as a law. Okay, in earlier years, Nirbhaya Act formed. Okay, that framed by what? Sorry, that law is framed by whom? Central level. So that's why Parliament at a central level, state legislature at a state level have an power to frame the what laws. Simple proposed bills. That means, okay, I will draft everything in the law. I will place in front of assembly. Okay, okay. Whoever MLAs are there, if they are voting in favor of the bill, now that bill will be changed into what act. Every time this is only the procedure. Before passing or before getting approval, that is bill. Once we got an approval, that is called as what act. So now tell me, article number 246 is given the power to, tell me ma, given the power to who and whom? Central government, state government, with respect to make laws regarding the collection of taxes. So nothing but you have to learn first 265 only, because definitely you need to get a support from law. Okay, sir, how to frame the laws? Clearly, Constitution is saying that only central government at a parliament, state government at assembly, they have an power to frame the laws. Example, we want to collect one tax. In state of Telangana, we want to collect one tax. Simply, state government of Telangana will frame one act in that state legislature, that is only called as act. Based on that act, they can collect the tax. Understood? Sir, now these two are important only. Important means MCQ point of view important. Sir, many students are remembering in an order. First, in numericals, 246 is first. But first we discussed what ma? 265. Then after we discussed 246. Remember that. Okay. So somehow we got a clarity. In India, if any government want to collect the tax, definitely they need to get a backup support from the law. Who can frame the laws? Central government as well as state government can frame the law. How? Sir, in Constitution of India, if you open Constitution of India in a PDF format also, you can get article numbers in order. Article number 1, 2, 3, like we have in many article numbers. But for our discussion, what we consider 265 and 246 now. If you open the article number 246 further, okay, if you open the article number 246 into further, that means it is a big article number in the Constitution of India. So remember, yes, in that article number 246, many schedules are there. Schedule 1, Schedule 2, Schedule 3. But coming to Schedule 7, important for MCQ, what is the schedule we have to open ma? Schedule 7. To article number what ma? 246 of what? Constitution of India. So can you tell me Schedule 7 to that article number 246 of Constitution of India? Some, okay, independence or implementation of Constitution of India. Till now, many laws are already framed in state governments also, central government also, many laws are already framed. That all laws list will be preserved in the which schedule? 7th schedule. What is the schedule number ma? 7th schedule. Now we'll discuss the flow. Yes, please remember what is the schedule ma? 7th schedule. Please write it down. 7th schedule. 2. Which article ma? Article number 246 of what? Constitution of India. Constitution of what ma? India. Again, please remember what is a flora. If you are discussing from the deep, 7th schedule to the article number 246 of Constitution of India. In that 7th schedule, they classified already framed laws into 3 parts. Definitely many laws are there. All laws will be classified into how many parts ma? 3 parts. Any idea about these 3 parts? Whatever the laws framed by the central government, state government, or combinedly central and state government, these are all the things are bifurcated into 3 parts or 3 lists. Okay, first list is called as what ma? Union list. Tell me union list means? Or this list have having another name in the constitution itself ma? List 1. What is that? List 1. Okay, Roman numbers we can place list 1. Second is called as what ma? Union is over. What is that ma? State list. So this is also have another name. What is that ma? List 2. Third one ra? Concurrent. That means the combined one. Okay. Concurrent list. This is only we can call it as what ma? List 3, right? Whatever the laws framed by the central government in the parliament till now, these are all the laws are mentioned in the union list of the 7th schedule to the article number 246 of the Constitution of India. Example, yes, our income tax. Okay, earlier 1961, now 2025. Framed by the central government in the parliament level. So now that act having the place in which list ma? Union list. Sir, every year one law can be framed by environmental laws. Okay, normally companies related, partnership firm related, the criminal laws related, many laws will be framed. But once if any law is framed, that can be entered into any one of these lists, right? If that is framed by the state government in the state list, if that is framed by the central government in the list 1, combinedly if anything is framed, concurrent list. Like that, our Income Tax Act 1961 earlier framed, right? On that time, if that is entered into this list, that entry number is 82. That means before Income Tax Act 1961, how many laws are already framed by the central government? 81 already framed. Our entry number to this list is what? 82. Okay, today one law is framed. So latest, what is that updated number? They can enter into this list. Okay, name of the act only they will enter, not entire content. Whatever the laws framed by this central government, whatever the laws framed by the different state government, combinedly, these are all the act names are entered into this list. Now tell me, in this union list, who haven't power to frame the laws ma? Please tell me. Central government. Pura central government power to make laws. In this list, whatever the laws are there, that laws already framed by whom? Central government only. So can you tell me, already many laws entered into this list? List means nothing but the many laws already framed, that all the things we are making it as an order. So can you tell me, what is that entry number to our income tax? Entry number? Definitely. What is that entry number? 82. MCQ very important. Entry number 82 is nothing but what ma? Income Tax Act. Okay, 1961. Now that is what? 2025. Updated act also replaced in that entry number only. There is no new entry number for that. There is no new entry number for that. So whatever that updated thing is also entered into 82 entry number only. Okay. Next one, can you tell me, by using this Income Tax Act, can you tell me government, which government ma? Central government is going to collect the taxes on what? Income. Taxes on what? Income. Except on one income. Can you tell me any idea? Huh? Agricultural income. So then what about agricultural income? Yes, state governments have an power to collect the taxes on agricultural income. But as of now, every state government is also exempting agricultural income. If any tax required to be collected on agricultural income, who have an power? State government have an power. But still, state governments also not collecting any taxes on agricultural income. So now we can write it on just one point here. Taxes on what ma? Income other than what ma? Other than agricultural income. So coming to the second list, can you tell me whatever the laws already contained in the second list, that is an state list, who have an power to frame the laws? State government. Please fill this. State government have an power to make laws. Understood all of you? So next one, both, tell me, both means here central government and state government have an power to make laws. Have an power to make what? Nothing but combinedly, if any of the state governments and central government have framed the laws, that laws having the place in concurrent list. So in your break time also you can open the Constitution of India, freely available on our Google also, you can download. Just go through the articles. You have to find only 2 article numbers. What are the 2 article numbers? To first 265, please check. Exactly, okay, these wordings you can get. If you want to collect the tax, definitely you need to get a support from law. So now our question nothing but stuck with the how to frame the laws. How to frame the laws, clarity given in which article number? 246. So article number 246 is saying that if you want to frame the laws, only 2 authorities can frame the laws. Can you tell me who are? Central government, state government. Based on this article number, already many laws are framed. That laws are preserved in Constitution of India under article number 246 in which schedule? 7th schedule. That 7th schedule also bifurcated into how many lists? 3 lists. Union list, state list, concurrent list. So list 1, list 2, list 3 also. Whatever the laws already framed by the central government, yes, till now having the place in which list? Union list. So within all the laws, our Income Tax Act 1961 or 2025 have a place in this list at an entry number what? 82. So next, whatever the state governments frame the laws, that all are preserved in the state list. Whatever that both the central and state combinedly framed the laws having the place in concurrent list. Understood up to now? So this isn't just a background provisions for the Income Tax Act 2025. Clear up to now? Now coming to the next point, sir. Sir, I want to learn everything in the Income Tax Act 2025, sir. From section 1 to last section, if I refer, can I get at most clarity in that income tax law? Okay, if you observe whatever that provisions are there in Income Tax Act 2025, every section we can learn. By way of learning the section's content, can I get enough knowledge on the income tax law? By reading the sections in the act, can I get the enough knowledge on law? Answer is no. Answer is no. Not only act, you have to refer other 4 components also. Act is one component. You have to refer other how many components, ma? 4 components. Combinedly, if you refer these 5 components, then only you will get enough knowledge on the income tax law. Not only students, even practitioners also, public also, who are going to pay the tax, that fellows also definitely required to learn how many components? 5. One component you know already. What is that? Income Tax Act 2025. And other 4 components also there. Combinedly, if you refer, we can get enough knowledge on what? Income tax law. Understood? That is only our third point. Components of income tax law or sources of income tax law. Okay, in intermediate level, it is very important theory question. Okay, no problem. Again, we have to refer. Can you tell me what is the point number we have to learn? Third, components are what? Sources of income tax law. But this is very important, because whenever we are going for the advanced discussions, this is a base for the discussions. Okay, shall we? First, we can know the what are the 5 components. Then one by one we can discuss. One component already you know. What is that one component? Income Tax Act 2025. Okay, about 1961. I don't want to tell you comparisons and analysis. That is not required. If I am saying the comparisons for that every section, maybe if you remember the old provision, that is a big headache for me. So that's why I don't want to tell you comparison, analytics, etc. I want to talk only with the new provisions. But okay, in just your remembrance purposes, just I will give the reference of the earlier sections in every section. I don't want to give the notes for the comparisons, etc. But at the end of the syllabus, if you are interested, if that is required, then we can make the analysis. But now we have to go with the Income Tax Act 2025 only. Okay, now how many components? You know, 5. One component already you know, Anna. Okay, just tell me that first component. Income Tax Act 2025. Super. Next, rules also there. Okay, rules also we have to learn. Okay, then rules. Okay, can I write only as some rules, or is there any full name like that? Super. Income tax rules. Then what is that year? 1962. పడేసి కొడతారు మామూలుగా కూడా కాదు, అందరు కలిసి మనల్ని. యాక్ట్ ఏమో 2025. ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ సేయింగ్ రూల్స్ 1962. Remember, whenever act is framed, okay, whenever act is framed, definitely it is difficult to implement. For smooth implementation of any act, we can get what? Rules. The rules will be released definitely next to that act released year. Can you tell me what is the next year to that act released year? 2026. Okay, earlier 1961 is an act and rules 1962. Okay, coming to Companies Act. Companies Act 2013, rules always mentioned as an what? 2014. Always, once act is released, that act implementation definitely difficult only. So for smooth implementation of act, yes, they will give the rules in the next year. Okay, now our rules also done. Very happy. Next, all of you, third component. Okay, just I will tell you. Now 2025. But after 4 or 5 years, the rupee value may be appreciate, depreciate. So everything will be changed. So how we can follow the same act in the future years also? That is extremely difficult, right? Okay, if you are observe the 1961 Act, on that time tax may be collected in that percentages, rupees, etc. also. Now, the percentages increased to 30 also. Remember, this isn't related to finance, right? So that's why every year we have to make an amendments to the income tax. Sir, for making the amendments in every year, so one procedure is there. Budget will be introduced in the both the houses of parliament. Based on the budget, they will made one act that is only called as what ma finance act. So every year this is on procedure, right? So that's why we can give the name as an what ma annual finance act. For our examination, what is that finance act applicable ra? For June 27, December 27 attempt students required to learn the Income Tax Act 2025 along with the Finance Act 2026. Every year, one common procedure in which month the drama will happen, ra? February month. In every year, February month, this drama will happen, ra? Based on the drama, one act will came into existence. It will give the amendments to the both the direct as well as indirect taxation laws. Based on this annual finance act, we can get an amendments in the both the direct tax laws as well as indirect tax laws. Okay, annual finance act also we have to learn. Why? If you know the earlier acts that is not at all effective now, we have to learn the amendments whatever given in the finance acts also. Okay, then next components. I will tell you the more details regarding every point. Just now we are making it as a list. Okay, next one ma. Okay, circulars and notifications also one more component. I will tell you in detail. Just write it down. Circulars and what ma? Notifications. Circulars as well as what ma? Notifications. Next one ma? Case laws. What is that ma? Case laws. If you refer these 5 components, then only you can know in and out about the income tax law. Many having thought of, okay, just I can refer the act in and out from section 1 to section ending. Okay, can you tell me how many sections are there in our Income Tax Act 2025 first? Any idea? Section 1, first section, ending section I want to know. 500 unnaya? 1000, 2000, 536. How many ma? 536 sections. Earlier 298. Okay, don't think about it. I will give you that all the things in this point. Just I'm saying how many sections are there in Income Tax Act 2025? 536. Earlier, earlier 298 is there. Okay, now that is 536. Yesterday we discussed one point. In order to remove the complexity, they given the Income Tax Act 2025. How they remove the complexity by way of increasing section numbers? Tell me. So these are all the things you have to learn first. Tell me ma. So in the 1961 Act, we have 298 sections. In 2025 Act, we have 536 sections. But how they remove this complexity? Remember, just I will tell you, they are given the effective sections as in 298. Example, I will tell you 44 AD, 44 ADA, 44 AE. Like this, the many sections will be there. They counted it as an one only. That's why 298. If you counted sections totally, 900 something will be there. 890 something will be there in the old act. They counted 44, one section. But in that 44, AD, ADA, AE, 44B, BB, many sections will be there. But in numbers, they are given it as an 298 only. Example, in chapter 6A deductions, if you refer, ADC, ADD, ADTTA, TTB, many are there. But they counted it as an one only in earlier act. Now, effectively also we have in 536. That means nearly 300 sections are reduced in the new act. Definitely you will get this confusion. Sir, earlier we referred, sir, old books also 298 sections list only they given. 298 is the effective sections. But if you counted the section numbers, nearly 890 something will be there. Now removed or reduced? Reduced only. And properly every sections are arranged in an order. So that's why we reduced that yes, 890 something sections into what? 536 only. So this is a common doubt many are asking. If you refer old materials, they given 298 sections. Now we are going to write how many? 536. Yesterday you told, in order to remove the complexity, simplification purposes, we framed the new Income Tax Act 2025. Yes, that is correct only, ma. 298 is an effective sections, but totally if you counted 900 something will be there. That is reduced to how many now? 536. Shall we? Okay. Can you repeat the what are the components or sources of income tax, Lara? 5. Income Tax Act 2025, Income Tax Rules 2026, Annual Finance Act, Circulars, Notification, Case Laws. So now our first discussion is lies with the Income Tax Act 2025. Super. I will write few points regarding this, and one by one we will discuss the most important things. All these things we have to know in deep manner. Earlier just we refer the side headings and anything if you written also they are allocating the marks. Now the background objective is different. Wherever I am using the rule number, you have to know the what do you mean by the rules. If I am referring it as an as per the circular, as per the notification, you need to know about the meaning of circular, the meaning of notification. If I am saying case law, what do you mean by the case law? What is the use of the case law in our income tax law? These things you have to know. So that's why one by one we can discuss. It will take nearly 30 minutes also. Just we can write it down. Tell me, ma. Income Tax Act, whatever is there, can you tell me it is applicable whole of India, right, ma? Okay, it extends or it applicable for the whole of India, including Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, just I will write it on. Extends whole of India. This is one point. Next point. It came into force. Whenever it is framed, that's okay, but when it came into applicability practically, anyone? It came into force. Important, this is also on 1/4/25. If it is came into force on 25, our earlier attempt students also required to learn that only. It came into force on what, ma? 1/4/2026. Okay, 1/4/2026. That's why. Can you tell me what is that year, financial year? 26, 27, right? Now you can refer in that last discussions also. What is the tax year we refer? 26, 27. Remember, 1/4/2026 it came into force. That's why tax year we referred as the same. So everything will be linked, right? Your preparation time can be saved drastically. Okay, definitely. I will tell you everything. Sometimes maybe you can think why this fellow saying these small things also. You can felt it. But in exam or revision time, you can enjoy the flow. If you listen the classes properly, that is only the big headache for all of you. Next, third point. Tell me, ma. Now we can write it down. It contains how many sections? It contains 536 sections. 536 sections. We have to learn mostly all the sections. Okay, we have to learn all the sections mostly. 536 sections. Yes, ma. How many chapters? Ma, chapters means not our index like that. So that sections will be classified into some chapters. Example, I am an NRI. For NRI, certain provisions will be applicable. That all the provisions are classified into one chapter. Understood? Heads of income, one chapter. Okay, in Income Tax Act 2025, whatever the sections are there, that can be bifurcated into the chapter numbers. Like that, how many chapters are there, ma? 23 chapters. How many chapters? 23 chapters. Okay. Next, with how many schedules? Schedules. That means again another classification they given as an schedules. Yes, ma. 16 schedules. How many schedules? 16 schedules. That this is a newly implemented act. That's why every point is important. They can ask corners related MCQs also. So how many sections? 536. How many chapters? 23. How many schedules? 16. This is all about Income Tax Act 2025. Anyhow, we are going to learn that all the sections. That's why we can close this discussion up to now. Next one, yes, we'll discuss about the, yes, ma. Next, we'll discuss about the, what is that? Rules. B point income tax. Rules 2020. Super. Okay, before going to the rules discussion, act framed by whom? Central government and a parliament, right? Then who can frame the rules? Central government only. That is a big procedure. If central government required to frame the rules also, every time they need to frame the, they need to introduce bill in the parliament, approvals. This is a big procedure. Act now one-time procedure. That's why they can frame that. The rules also framed by central government means it is a difficult process. No. Our answer is no. Rules can be framed by whom? CBDT. Already we discussed in earlier session, this is the first and foremost authority in direct tax laws. Central Board of Direct Taxes have an power to make the rules. Okay. Different rules already framed, but now I want to know the purpose behind the creation of rules. Why rules are required? Already we discussed something for smooth implementation of what act. These 2 points are enough, but I want to tell you one example. Okay. I don't want to tell you section numbers. Maybe you will get confusion. Just I will tell you. I think one restriction is there for making the cash payments, right? More than 10,000 if you want to make the payment to others, that should be paid in the electronic modes only. Account to pay, check, account to pay, demand draft, electronic clearing system. How much? 10,000. Less than 10,000 in a day to any person, you can made in the form of what? Cash. This is one section is there in Act. While you are doing the business, if you want to make any payment more than 10,000, please pay in electronic modes. Otherwise, if you paid, that is disallowed. They will not allow it as what? Deduction for computing your business income. Example, my business is there. Okay, this institute example. I am paying the rent to the owner in the form of cash. Example, 1 lakh I paid in the form of cash today. Can I get this rent as a deduction in my accounts? No. But assumption, or you can take example, I'm doing the business of sale of agriculture produce. I want to purchase the agriculture produce from whom? Farmers. So now definitely required to make the payment to the farmers in the form of what? Cash only. Otherwise they will not sell their material to us. In some exceptional cases, definitely they have to allow this point. Payment to fishermen, the payment to farmers. In certain cases, they need to allow us to make the payment more than 10,000 also in the form of what? Cash. So these are all the exceptions they can give in the rules. Okay, whenever you are making the payment more than 10,000 also, except exemption you can take. That means, okay, you can make the payment in the form of 10,000 in certain exceptional cases, that all the exceptions are given in the form of what? Rules. So old act also containing the same, new act also saying the same, but section numbers, rule numbers are different. Whenever okay, example here, this section implementation is extremely difficult if I am paying to the whom? Agriculturalists. So that's why they given this exception in the rules. Okay, without rule, definitely this section implementation is what? Difficult. Whenever it is difficult, always they will give what? Rule. So now just 2 points, we can close the session for today. What is the first point? Who have an power to frame the rules? CBDT. Can you tell me full form of CBDT? Central Board of Direct Taxes have an power to make what? Rules. Sir, is there any time limit for making the rules? No. Whenever it is required, they will frame the rules, sir. Whenever it is required, they will frame the rules. So there is no frequency, there is no time limit for making the rules. Whenever act implementation is difficult, they will come up with the what? Rules. Who will come up with the rules? CBDT. Now second one. What is the purpose behind the creation of rules? Rules are step by step. Rules are step by step guidelines for guideline for implementation of what? Act. Step by step implementation of what? Act. So definitely you have to remember this point. Act implementation in certain cases is difficult. So in that certain cases, CBDT will frame the what? Rules. Now that act section number along with this rule, if you analyzed, then you can implement the act properly. So now tell me, without rules, can I implement the act in a proper way? No. Always these two are combined only. Example, in PCBP, one provision implementation is extremely difficult. That exceptional points will be given in rules. So example, again I will tell you, in certain cases, not in certain cases, always the PCBP provision is saying that you can't make payment to a person in a day more than 10,000 in the form of cash. But in certain exceptional cases, we have to make the payment in the form of what? Cash only. For example, I want to make the amount of payment to the bank. Definitely I have to give the cash to bank. In all the exceptional cases, they will give the what? Rule. Clear? So these base points, please remember. In future, whenever as per rule 12, 13, 14, 16, etc., if I am saying, always you have to remember, rules always helpful for the implementation of act. Okay. Now one more point I will tell you, I will close this session. In act, they are saying you have to file the return of income. In act, just they are saying you have to file the return. But I think for filing of returns, we have an ITR 1, ITR 2, ITR 3, etc. Is there, right? Which ITR form is useful for me? Which ITR form is useful for me? What are the facilities given in that ITR forms? That all the clarification is given in the rules only. In Act, they are not saying anything about the ITR forms. Where you are getting this information related to ITR 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. Rules only. Understood? So nothing but ITR filing itself very important thing. For that purpose also we are using the what rules. Step by step guidelines, right? In future we can discuss the rules related examples many more. So now we can close the discussion. Yes, the further classes I think SCM and law also will be there now. Yes, Annual Finance Act, circulars, notification, case laws and all the things we can discuss in the next session. Thank you.